What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Torrence, and in today's video I wanted to talk to you about a few things in my collection. But before we get started, I would love for you to hit that subscribe button. If you already have, I would like to say thank you. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my future uploads. And don't forget to check out my video that I'll leave linked right here above, because you still have time to enter the giveaway I have going on. You must be subscribed to the channel, and I'm going to make sure that I check before I pick a giveaway winner. So make sure your subscriptions are open. And if you would like any information on the look that I'm wearing now, I'll make sure I leave that in the description bar below. And coming Wednesday, I'll post that tutorial for that, and I'll leave it linked here once it is available. But for today, I wanted to show off a few items in my collection that I purchased knowing the day that I got them, I was never going to use them. Now, I'm not sure if anyone else has ever done this idea. Before I upload it, I will check, and if I find out that they have, I'll make sure I leave their video linked right here. But if for any reason you all find someone and you all believe that they came up with this idea first, just make sure you leave that in the comment section below, because I don't want to take credit for anyone's original idea. It's just while in the middle of doing this look, I started seeing things in my collection that I noticed I had never touched those items. And I figured it would make a pretty good video because you all like my commentary videos. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into these things, because makeup is expensive and makeup does have a shelf life. But unfortunately, honey, that don't stop me. When I see something I want and I like, honey, that's all it is. And although I have a love of brushes, so that's what I try to collect, a lot of times makeup get to you. So the first thing I want to show off, let me see which we gonna grab first. Right here, since it's the closest to. These two are from Fenty Beauty. This one here is the Fairy Bomb Glittering Pom Pom. It's called Rose on Ice. And this big thing was the prettiest thing I had ever seen. It comes with a very huge powder puff. I think I did open the sticker on one side just so you can see what it looks like. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at how big and fat and pretty she is, honey. And it comes with this sparkling body powder inside of the puff. You just have to pat it on your skin and it'll start to come out. And this one was so popular that the brand decided to do another one the following year. This is a mini Fairy Bomb, and this is in the shade Candy Sparks. But as you can see, they both in the containers because I don't need a body powder. But I love Rihanna, and I wanted to try these, and I'm like, honey, how you gonna try them if you never gonna take them out and use them? So these are my backups that I sit on display. I never use them, and I never will, because when I bought the original ones that I have, I cut them open and put them in these jars here. Bought these on Amazon. Rose on Ice right here, Candy Sparks right here. And I did this before the brand came out with the loose versions of them, because I have some of those loose ones. If you see those right there? Those Fenty Beauty body powders and the ones that they released. But before they did that, I went ahead and did it myself, because I knew if I cut it open and put it in a jar, I'll just see it as loose powder and not see it as this pretty little pom-pom that I never wanted to get dirty. So I'm used to opening this up, take a brush, swirl it around, and keep it going about my day. But these little pom-poms here, never gonna open them, never gonna let nobody else use them. Well, I won't say never open them, because I did. We're never gonna use them. And while we're talking about Fenty Beauty, I might as well show you some of the brushes that I have from them. This one here is the 160 Face and Body Brush. And although it's just a regular kabuki brush, it has a slanted head to it. I remember when she first started marketing these for the Body Lava. I have all 4 shades of the Body Lava, and although I personally have never worn it, I have used it on clients. And I never got the chance to buy a backup of this brush, which is why I never used it. I really want to take this and do that same thing she did, and take and just rub it on the shoulder. And one day I thought about doing that, and I'm like, but you're gonna get your brush dirty. Nope. So although I've opened it, I've never used it, and I keep this here on the shelf, and I plan on buying another one. That's why I opened this one, so it'll go ahead and push me to do it. But until then, nope, never using this one. The other one I have is the Fenty Beauty Galaxy Two-Way Eyeshadow Brush. This was the very first brush that the brand put out, and it came with the Galaxy eyeshadow palette, and I had to have it. I wanted the palette and the brush. And so I bought one of the brushes here so that I can actually use it. I really do like it. It's just that I'm not a fan of double-ended brushes, so only one side gets used, the other one doesn't. But because I realized this could possibly get damaged, it could get scuffed, it could get lost, it could get broken, I had to buy another one that I'm never, ever, never, ever gonna open. Don't ask, I'm never selling it. I'd rather live on the curb fighting raccoons over it because I'm never giving it up. Guess who spoke too fast? Something told me like, Torrence, there is no way you wanted to use this brush, even though I know I haven't used it. But I'm like, it's been way too long since this brush came out and I know you got to back up somewhere. Just check my collection. Here she go. Have this when we would use it. This one, never gonna touch. Since we're on brushes, we might as well go ahead and keep going with that. Another brush I purchased with no intentions on using it is the Wayne Goss Holiday brush from last year. This big pretty thing here, I just truly knew I would never get a chance to use it. So I bought one and all I kept saying is just please, please, please let another brush be available when I get paid next week because I cannot afford to buy two at once. My coins just don't stretch that far. The makeup gods was looking out for me, girl. This is the one, although I've never used it, I do have plans on using it. This one here stays in the packaging because if for any reason I love this one, I'm just going to use this one and I'll have to have memories of it if it ever goes bad or get broken because I'm never taking this one out of the plastic. And this one is normally stored up here on that top shelf, usually right there with the rest of my Wayne Goss brushes. And if you look in previous videos, you'll see her sitting right up there. But I plan on using this one one day. She's so soft. It's like the biggest fan brush in the world. I said one day on a holiday or on like a birthday, I'm going to just be extra with my highlighters and they're going like, yes, sis. But I haven't had that chance yet. And this is the one. It's already been washed to make sure it's ready for me. Gonna use this one day. That other one, never. Next up, because we are on tools, one of the things I purchased with no intentions of ever using is this little cutie here. My Beauty Blender Heart. Honey, when they first came out with this, all this is two red beauty blenders pressed together. But it makes this beautiful little heart shape here, and I'm not sure if that'll show up on camera. And ever since I had it, I've never even taken the cap off of it because I thought that was absolutely beautiful. And I've tested out all of the colors of the Beauty Blender that I have so far, and the black one's my favorite, so I see no need to open that one. And one day, I almost did it, but instead of doing so, I just bought a single red one. So if I ever get the desire to want to use a red beauty blender, I can open this one. But this just reminds me of my love of the brand, and so gonna keep this one forever. If it ever comes to it, I'll open this one. Another thing that I can show you, something that you all see in most of my videos, is this here, my Ciate London Jessica Rabbit mirror. This is the prettiest little compact mirror and it has Jessica Rabbit on it, and I was just too through, like, look at that. Sis look flawless right there. And the reason I got this is because it reminds me of my mother. One of her favorite movies is Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and it was a movie that we enjoyed watching growing up. So the fact that they even have him on the back is like, come through. But you can see this thing has been scuffed and abused because I use it on a daily basis. And I wanted to make sure that if for any reason this got destroyed, I still had a piece to show off. So this one here in the packaging, she will always be in the packaging because this is for display purposes. But considering I'm on YouTube and I needed a very small mirror for right here that wouldn't blind me, I have this one for use. This one I'm never gonna open. Another thing here, my Jaclyn Hill breast collection. I purchased this simply because I love and support Jaclyn Hill, honey. She was one of the first influencers I watched on a regular basis. And no, let me rephrase that. She was one of the first influencers I started watching when I was actually wearing makeup. When I first just got into watching tutorials, watching the old school influencers like Michelle Phan, Marlene Estelle and them, I was just astounded by their looks, but I wasn't getting into it. I was just watching. When I finally decided I'm gonna put on some makeup, she was my girl. And I have these here because they've been open and they are ready for display just in case I ever want to use them. And the brush I plan on never using is this one here. I love a very large powder brush, and this usually sits on the stand right here behind me. It's usually right there on that third one where you can't even see it. And this is just the biggest, fattest powder brush. I think it's called the JH01. She just big and fat, and I could just see me baking and getting some powder going with this. But I never got the chance to use it, and if for any reason I ever do, got this one here. Never gonna open it because I always want to have a brand new one. It went on half off, so to me, getting them both for the price of one was absolutely amazing. But never gonna open this one. Plan on using this one. Something different. Okay, I have some different things here. Things that I don't have backups of is this here. And I didn't even have a choice of not even using this one because I technically could use it, but knowing there's no way of repurchasing it, I decided not to. And that is the MAC Underground's first release, which is this here, is the Extra Dimension Skin Finish in the shade Precious. MAC has a program called Underground where they only make 1,000 units of a particular item, and once those 1,000 are gone, it's just that. And for their first launch, they did this. The second one was a brow product that I decided to skip, and I managed to get number 686 out of 1,000. Not sure if you can see that. Yeah, you see I have number 686 out of 1,000. And on the inside here, she's absolutely beautiful. It has a rainbow pattern, and as someone who's a part of the LGBTQ plus community, I found it absolutely stunning. And I know a lot of people were upset with this, and honestly, I think I was too a little bit, simply because to me, they should have just marketed this as an Extra Dimension Skin Finish blush, because this is the same size of the blushes. By just saying it was an Extra Dimension Skin Finish, we all thought it was going to be a highlighter and the size of a highlighter. And because it wasn't, it turned me off a bit, and I never decided to use it or advertise it. So I have it here in my collection, but considering the fact I have no idea what that color is going to look like on the skin, I saw no reason to ever open it or use it. And considering I'll never be able to replace her, as of right now, I see absolutely no reason to open or use her. Another item, and this was probably the reason I decided to do this video, was this here. This is the Paul & Joe Face and Eye Color in the shade CS109. First off, get into this. Anyone who knows me knows I absolutely love unicorns and cats. So the fact that you have this I love cats here over this little blush, and it has what looks like a little kitty collar, honey, I was done. I was done because I rarely ever even take this collar off. Sometimes I just make sure it's sitting right here in the middle so it doesn't slide off. But we'll take it off for you today. And the reason I never found it in me to actually use it is because this right here. Look at that. It has a cat engraved in it, honey. I do believe, no, it's not even an overspray. Those are just separate different colors there. And I'm scared of using it because I'm scared of that cat embossing being gone. I want to constantly see all of those. And I know with my brush, more than likely, I'm going to dip on one area more than the other, and one side risks going away. And I just never decided to buy another one because I'm like, every product I've bought from the brand, I'm afraid to use. So I'm not going to waste any more money with that. But this is absolutely stunning to me. And the best part about it, look at the little cat's paw brush they give with it. Imagine taking that little bitty thing, brushing it across there and getting yourself a little glow going, honey. But I'm like, no, this is just so pretty that I could never bring myself to use it. And I think in the future, I may just buy this exact same one again, just so I can use this older one here. But right now in my collection, I have a drawer full of blushes, and this sits right there as a guard. To me, it looks like a little kitty cat, but she's my protective tiger, honey, and she makes sure nobody gets into my blush collection. Two of the other blushes that I purchased from Paul & Joe are the cheek colors, and that one says it's an eye color as well, but I would use them all as blushes. I have the shade 105 and the shade 106. This one here is 105, and as you can see, it has cats all over the container here. I think that's absolutely beautiful. Inside, they get you with that little kitty paw. We have a poof here. And look, it even has cats on the inside. Like, come on, detail. But once you take this little poof off, it does have some color on it because it has been sitting on top. Inside, they sort of look like the Galan meteorites. And I'm trying my hardest not to tip this over. See if I can get a little closer. But I'm not sure if you can tell. Let me grab one of those out of here. I want to try to get this so that you can see it. Y'all better be glad I love y'all, honey, because we about to be extra careful with this next one here. They have little pieces in here shaped like balls, and some pieces are shaped like cats. Like, look at that. Inside of this one here, I see 3 different kitty pieces. And because I just accidentally dropped this, you best believe I'm not about to tip over that next one. Let me put this up so I can get clumsy on them. This next one is shade 106, and it just has a basic floral pattern here that translates on the top as well as on the inside here. And instead of having a yellow bow like the last one, this one has a blue one. And when you take that out, this blush is much more mauvey purple. And I want to see if I can give you a view of that on the inside. You see that's much more purple based in this one here. And it has the same thing. I want to see how many kitties can I find in there. So it does look like they only give you 3 of the kitty pearls in each one. And look at that. She is too pretty, and I've never used these blushes here just simply because I do not want to wear down those kitties. And I'm upset that I've already dropped one and it looked like it chipped one of her paws. It's still intact, but I did not want that damage going on. So we're going to go ahead and hurry up and put these back before we cause any more damage. Next up, baby. If you ever wanted to see somebody spend way too much money on something, you can come on and check it out with me. Because I purchased these here. The Tom Ford Natural Hair Brush Collection. First of all, let me tell you, these costed way too much. Way too much. I'm not sure about the price of all of them, but I do know this biggest one here, the bronzer brush, was $125. The thing is, I'm a brush addict, and when I seen it, this was easily the largest natural hair brush I had ever seen in my life at the time. I just could not believe that someone would put this much on one brush head, so I had to have it. I had to have it. And I could not afford to get them all. The first one I did get was this blush brush here, simply because before I got into eyeshadow, blush was my way of playing with color. So I have an enormous blush collection. And I've used this a handful of times. This one here, never used. The thing is, I put them in this container and put them on display because I was supposed to go ahead and use them, and then Tom Ford discontinued them. Tom Ford discontinued these natural hair brushes, and when I tell you, my heart dropped. Because all I kept thinking is, Torrence, you got them now. But if you use them and they go bad or break, you'll never have them again. So baby, I borrowed a few dollars from a few family members. We got some backups of these. I had to call every Nordstrom in the country. And I believe this large bronzer brush, they had to find this one in Hawaii because I was on the phone with those phone reps. Hey, here's the serial number for this one. Any store that got it, honey, let me know. I'll pay to have it shipped. So I got backups. I have 2 eye brushes. I have a blush brush and a bronzer brush. But baby, these here, they're in the box and they are never coming out. I'm never taking them out the box. These here, I keep them out in the open because it reminds me, Torrence, nothing in your collection is so beautiful that it can't be used. The prettiest thing in your collection is you. Everything else is beneath you. These are products, these are items, they are not people, and you are not so pretty that you can't get dirty to get me fine. Nope. So one day I am going to use these brushes again. I don't think I've used most of the eye brushes. Like I said, I've used this a handful of times. They sell this as a foundation brush, but the idea of using a natural hair brush with my thick, heavy foundations, I'd be looking like, might have to go ahead and use this with a powder foundation one day, because I don't see me using my NARS foundations with this one. But these here, we plan on using them because they cost way too much. These, you're never gonna get to see. And baby, 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 the most luxe part of this collection, honey, the ones that I'm like, sis, there was no doubt in my mind I needed backups because I was so afraid that I would never get to use them, and that would be the MAC and Mariah Carey collection. The thing that caught my eye the fastest was this bad boy here, the My Mimi highlighter. To this day, the Extra Dimension Skin Finish is my favorite highlighter on clients. So when she dropped this and it had the embossing on it, I said, honey, you done took us all the way back to the, oh my God. She done took us back to the animations. For those of you who I don't see how you wouldn't, Mariah Carey is the queen, honey. I love me some Mariah Carey. Her old school videos just did it for me. And anytime we saw this coming out, I knew it was going to be good. I knew it was going to be good. The thing is, I'm like, how am I going to apply that? She gave us a little natural hair buffing brush. I'm like, look at how thick and dense and beautiful and fluffy that is, sis. Look at how sparkly that is. Do you know how many times I've been sitting there and just swirl, swirl, swirl? Give me a little bit. And actually, let me stop lying. I don't swirl, swirl, swirl. I do it on this side and swirl, swirl because I don't mind messing up the hair. And this has been used many times. But we don't swirl across the face, honey. We don't damage that. That canvas stays intact, honey. You couldn't keep it from me. I had to have this. And then, because like I said, before I got into eyeshadow, my thing was blush. So when she came out with this blush here in Sweet Sweet Fantasy, oh baby, I used to wear this blush all the time. It is just a perfect neutral shade. It goes with every look. It doesn't take over anything. I had to have it. Then I figured, you know what, Torrence? You can't just be a basic girl, honey. And then I sat back and I'm like, Torrence, we know you're not into lashes, but you can't let this opportunity pass you up. You gotta get you some of them lashes. She did you a soft one and a dramatic one, and it has a wispy shape. I'm not a fan of lashes that are thicker in the middle and thinner on the edges. I need mine to flare out and up this way. Both of these do that for me, honey. Look at those. And these are all the ones that I have in my collection that I can actually use. And if you check out that little brush thing up there, this very top one right here is all MAC brushes. And that one brush right here is my MAC Mariah Carey My Mimi brush. Give me a second and I'm going to go over there and grab it. Look at her and tell me Mariah didn't do her thing. That handle is so sparkly. It has a natural hair tip. The gold ferrule, honey, yes. I've actually used this brush before. Love it to lay colors down on the lid, especially matte colors. Mariah could do no wrong with me. This is probably easily, in my opinion, the best collection MAC has ever launched. I absolutely loved it. But once I realized, Torrence, you got all these items and you're going to need a backup, they still in the box. I got my lashes right here. Never taking these out because I have two that I can use. If I ever decide to use these, that's one thing. These never coming out of the package. That little kabuki brush, got a backup of him. And considering MAC no longer makes natural hair brushes, you know I'm glad I got up on it. This brush here, and then like, get into this packaging, honey. The packaging even matches the brushes. Gold on top, sparkling on bottom. Come through for a queen. That blush, had to have a backup of them. And I can tell you, I purchased every single piece from the MAC and Mariah Carey collection. It's just the ones that I'm showing you now are the ones I have backups for. The other blush, the lipsticks and things like that, I didn't get backups of. But these here, had to have it. The My Mimi highlighter, Got a backup of her. I know I can use this. I know I can swirl over the face and just get me a full buff look. But we can't disrespect Mariah like that. And I wanted to make sure I have one with the hair intact because Mariah's hair is always intact. So if I destroy this one, honey, we need that one. And what is this? Oh, this is my night. Oh, the liquid eyeliner. I forgot to even grab that. This is a backup of the liquid eyeliner because although I knew MAC made eyeliners, I had no idea they made it in this formula. So give me a second and I'm gonna go grab the one that I already got open. This is what the eyeliner looks like. I had never seen them do one in this tubing shape, but apparently this was already part of their permanent collection. They just had never done one in this color. And with Mariah Carey, she did it in a dark brown and it wasn't in black. And I had to think about it too, like, Torrence, you've never seen Mariah in black eyeliner. So I needed a brown one because I didn't have one. And I have this backup here. And the only item I've never used that I could not get a backup of is this here, the powder puff. As you can see, as soon as I opened it, I put it in this little plastic baggie because there was no way I was gonna let this thing get dirty. That little silver sparkly bow on top was never gonna see dirt a day in its life. And that came with this here, the MAC Mariah Carey Touch My Body Loose Powder. I had to have it. I had to have it. Growing up as a child, whenever I would go into my mother's bedroom, there was two things I knew I could see. Her bed, which set up so high off the ground, I had to climb up into it, and her collection of body fragrances and body powders that she kept on the dresser. My mother used to always smell good to me, and I used to always love going in and watching her just spray something on because I wanted to know what scent she had on for the day. But those body powders, they just always had her skin glistening, and it was something I knew I never wanted to wear because I always laid down all over the place and I didn't want to transfer it. But once Mariah did this, since I didn't want to get that puff dirty, I bought one of their normal puffs and put it here because I've used this powder on clients before. And it's a very gorgeous color. Color's beautiful. Have plenty of product left. But every time I've used it, I've used this MAC puff because the normal MAC puff that came with it, that's limited edition. I can't buy her. I can buy another one of these today if I wanted to. And so, although this is always on display, this puff sits on top of it. I never take it out the baggie so that no one can even mistakenly say that they wanted to use it with it. Because I promise you, you try opening this and we're going to cause a scene. It's going to be a misunderstanding because I ain't told nobody they can use this and nobody believes that they can. The powder, go right ahead. This, don't even dare. And with that being the last item, I hope you all truly enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you also leave me a comment down below if you have any of these items or any items in your collection that you have that you never plan on using. I know makeup has a shelf life, honey, but sometimes my emotions get the best of me and my wallet and I buy things that I just, like I said, never gonna use, honey. It's just, I ain't got it in me. And I'm glad that most of these items are brushes and tools that don't necessarily have a shelf life, but things like blushes and highlighters, I'm probably going to be so hurt if they ever go bad. If they just go dry, I don't mind. Just please, please, please don't grow bacteria because I've never used them. And I'm just going to make sure now that I have pulled these things out, trust me, it is getting on me. I'm just looking down like, Torrence, put this stuff back up. Hurry up, turn off that camera and put this stuff back up because the idea of dropping them like I did that Paul and Joe, maybe my heart stopped doing that and y'all just don't understand. But I love y'all and I wanted to show off as much as I possibly could. And I hope you all stay tuned because pretty soon I will be showing off my entire collection. I plan on uploading my collection in a 3-part tutorial. That will be the second week of December. There is just absolutely no way possible to put that all in one video. So part 1 will be the makeup that I use on clients and when I'm freelancing. The second part will be makeup that I have stored in cabinet and in shelves. And the third part will be things that I have on display, such as the things right here behind me. Just for the things on shelves, which will more than likely be the longest video, all you all see is these two right here full of brushes. you don't get to see the 3 right here full of eyeshadow palettes and lip glosses and things like that. So just that alone will be the 3rd largest and probably the most viewed video. But I hope you all truly did enjoy this video today. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And with nothing else, I hope you all remember to practice, continue to stay blessed, and until next time, goodbye YouTube.